Just had a pretty big haul here. It's your boy, you already know. I'm gonna start saying your boy a lot now. We just went to our local comic shop and they are getting out of comics, so I guess they would not be a comic shop anymore, right? Just bought all their single issues. So we've got them here in the back. You probably hear them bouncing around. Hopefully they're okay back there. I need to put my seatbelt on. Yeah, so we are going to do a video on these. We're going to do a update video as far as what we get in there, and they're flying around back there. That is not good. I'm gonna have to pull over. All right, update. Pulled to the side of the road. Adjusted the long boxes. Adjusted the short boxes. They are now not falling on top of each other, which is positive. So, gonna get these bad boys home, sort through them, and see what we got. Hoping for the best. Saw a lot of Batman stuff, a lot of DC stuff, some Venom stuff from the new run. So I think these are going to be a lot of modern, super modern books, like stuff that's been released within the past few years. So hoping for the best. Let's go. All right, so we get to the store, we see all these single issues. There's already some other guy kind of perusing through them. He's going through stuff. I think he gets a couple books. I don't really see what he gets, but I go through them, and I'm seeing a lot of Walking Dead. I'm seeing a lot of the Batman run, the Batman Rebirth run that I think came out in 2016 or so. That's the run that I'm currently trying to collect a whole run for. And saw a lot of that. Saw some Venom stuff. Saw some Immortal Hulk. Saw some Oblivion Song. Like all these books that I would consider hotter that were newer. Now I was paging through them, and I didn't spend a whole lot of time doing it. Mistake number one. And I mean, this wasn't like a small lot. Like there was, like I could tell. I mean, it was 5 or so short boxes and a long box. So you're talking about at least 1,000 books. Got the collection. They loaded up in my car. Got it home, and I sit it there, and I just thought, oh my God, this is so overwhelming. I'm now pretty much like kind of up to date on all the major runs, and I mean all the big names are in this. All the big, I mean they're Amazing Spider-Man stuff's in there, Thanos. There was some Thor. All the big Marvel stuff, and there was some decent DC stuff in there too. It's like runs that I was interested in.
Honey, what you doing?
I'm bagging and boarding everything that doesn't have bag and board. Things that are getting bagged and boarded probably shouldn't even be bagged and boarded. Multiple copies, repeat copies, Marvel, DC, Image, Boom. We got everything, man. We got 1,200 boards and bags, current size, snug fit. Just trying to sort everything. I'm close. I got another half of a long box left, and then it'll be all bagged and boarded and sorted.
You're bagging and boarding everything?
Literally everything. Some things already had bags and boards, but yeah, I mean this is what the thing is. You buy a collection, right?
Uh-huh.
And then you don't realize there's an added expense. Not only the expense of your time, but the expense of buying these bags and boards, and that's not cheap. Because there's no way you can sort through this stuff if you don't have it in these bags and boards, because you just can't go through it. You don't know what you have. So that's what I'm doing right now.
Okay. All right.
Why don't you come along with us and see how we did? All right, so what I've got here, this is a long box, and this is all Marvel stuff. So I tried to organize it the best I can. So I'm just gonna page through this really quickly. Now, the one thing you notice when you buy collections, the issue was I've got multiple duplicates. So like for example, I've got 3 issues of Thanos #3. But we got lucky here in this Captain Marvel run. I've got issues literally 1 through 11. A couple other just rando issues, and that kind of becomes the problem, is you get rando issues and you don't have anything that is sequential. But like I said, I mean, for somebody that is just kind of getting into comics, a situation like this wasn't necessarily the worst thing that could have happened, because I'm reading things, I'm looking at things now that I wouldn't necessarily have looked at. And like all the major names are in here, Doctor Strange. Now the problem is so like there's Doctor Strange, Surgeon Supreme, and then there's Doctor Strange, Damnation, and then there's just Doctor Strange. Like you have to, so all that had to be sorted through because they're not all in the same run. They're not all the same story. Here's a character I would have never read anything about. There's just a couple random Deadpools. Unfortunately, there was no more major Deadpools. Then here's some Avengers stuff. Random Avengers stuff. But yeah, I mean, here's a few Captain Americas. No major keys in here. Now, there were a couple keys, and I'll get to those here in a minute. But the main books that were the most, not enjoyable, but like, you know, I was most excited about and stuff that I wouldn't necessarily have bought was Ice Cream Man. So that was a really, really good one. Okay, now here's a couple keys here. So this is Black Panther number 1, but then this Black Panther number 2, I believe is a key here. Black Panther number 4. See, you know, you've got multiple copies. Not only you got multiple copies of the same thing. See, here's an example. I mean, I don't need 3 copies of Avengers Wakanda Forever, but it's okay. You know, it is what it is. There's multiple copies of that Fantastic Four book. But guys, I mean, this was some serious time spent. And here's something that I think I may read is this Conan stuff. I've never read a Conan book, never got into it. Maybe, hopefully that runs good. Let me know in the comments if you guys think that the Conan stuff that you see, if you can see it. I'm hoping you guys can see this. But yeah, so this is more Avengers, or this is Infinity Countdown stuff. I got a bunch of duplicates of that. Some other just random stuff. Here towards the end, it all just kind of started getting random. I got 5 copies of Iceman number 1. I guess nobody wanted to buy that one. All right, let's move on to the next box. All right, so we've got this Rebirth Batman run. This is what I was talking about. So everything, I pulled everything out of there. Like I've got, you know, 2 copies of 82. I put the best copy of 82 in my collection. Here's 73, 72. So basically, you know, this is still obviously my collection, but I'm willing to trade, sell any of this stuff because, you know, I've already got a copy of it. See, there was some Doomsday Clock stuff, and that was a run that I never read. And here's the Venom stuff, War of the Realms, literally the worst part of this Venom run, unfortunately. There's some Immortal Hulk stuff, a lot of duplicates, and then here's some, and see, like I stopped on that, I was like, oh man, but not so fast, it's a reprint. Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, Spider-Geddon, Edge of Spider-Geddon, more Spidey books. I don't know if I'll read these, to be honest. I don't know. I don't know if the new Spider-Man run is good or not. There's some Amazing Spider-Man. There's a couple different types of those runs. Miles Morales Spider-Man stuff, Vault of Spiders, Spider-Man. And then here's some just random Marvel books in the back here, some Defenders stuff, Iron Fist, Jessica Jones. I guess just trying to capitalize on that Netflix stuff. Alright, moving on. This is a DC box. So, some Justice League Odyssey, DC East 3. That stuff actually looks cool. Deceased. There's some Flash stuff. Heroes in Crisis. Now we get into all the Harley Quinn books. Cool stuff. Might read those. And some Action Comics. Not a lot of Superman stuff in here. I'm guessing the shop didn't do a lot of Superman stuff. Some Teen Titans. These books are packed in here so tight. Hopefully you guys can kind of see what's in there. Some Injustice. And a lot of these books are in higher grade. Now some of them, you know, have some color breaking spine ticks, but a lot of this stuff is just readers. You know, it's just reading material. I mean, this isn't CGC stuff, obviously. Very obviously. But I kind of flipped out when I saw this. I was like, oh my god. Is that a #1 Walking Dead? But this series has been reprinted so many times. Multiple copies, #2, #7. There's first Michonne, but it's not the first printing. Here towards the end, there's going to be multiple copies of the final issue and the second to last issue. And I got like how many copies of #171? I guess nobody like that. I haven't read that far into Walking Dead anyway. I'm still in that. I finished the volume 1 of the hardcover collected edition. Loved it. But yeah, so this is the last issue of Walking Dead, and I saw this when I was kind of skimming through it, but again, not so fast. This isn't the first printing. And the difference is the lettering in this. I think the first printing is red, and I didn't know that. I mean, how am I supposed to know that right off the bat? This is a cool run. This is American Gods. Neil Gaiman, that's the guy that did Sandman, so I'm liking that. But this is American Gods, my Ansel, I'm assuming. Multiple copies of the same book, unfortunately. And then there's the other run that just says American Gods. So this was kind of a key. This is the origin story of Mace Windu. This is a hotkey right now because of the Disney Plus. And then this is #5, which is even better. I'm not sure what that key is, but yeah, these are worth some money for sure. Some Star Wars books. I like this kind of stuff. That was cool. More Star Wars stuff. This is just the main Star Wars run. And then I've got the 50, and then there's some Star Wars Vader Dark Visions. I think there's just a Star Wars Darth Vader. Yeah, that's this. I've just got a couple issues of that, unfortunately. Some single issue. This is some stuff trying to capitalize on the Solo movie, I'm sure. And then some Imperial Cadet, Poe Dameron stuff. Lando, a couple Darth Mauls. Alright, this stuff is just rando stuff. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I mean, this is totally random stuff. Like, I kind of just threw this stuff in here because I only had like one issue of it, or just a couple. Here's some Transformers. I had multiple copies of, or multiple issues of that. But this is kind of what I was talking about where, see, like this looked kind of interesting to me. So it was Rick Remender, so that's the guy that did the Uncanny X-Force Omnibus. And this is stuff that I would never have bought that if I didn't do this, you know what I mean? So that's kind of a positive from it. I mean, this is some random stuff. This is kind of some kind of cool stuff. Dungeons and Dragons. Shout out Doubted Beef. Hooked him up with some D&D books. Hopefully he gets the comic bug, and some more Pathfinder stuff. Dungeons and Dragons books. I thought that was kind of cool. It's like got like a D&D character sheet on the cover as a variant cover. I don't know, it's kind of cool. Oh, and here's the My Little Pony stuff. We're big My Little Pony people. Yeah, right. But we got the ponies. We got the bronies. So yeah, we'll probably give those away to the nieces. Probably gonna give those away to the nieces. Oh, and here's some Firefly books. I thought that one kind of be cool. Got 1, 2, 3, 10, 11, 13. That's the way it goes. Jim Henson's Labyrinth. Just random. Random as AF. You know what I mean? Monstrous and Monstrous. A couple Magic the Gathering comics. I guess those didn't sell. Surprise there. Life is Strange, capitalizing on the video game. Just rando stuff. Spawn, Witchblade. But yeah, the Ice Cream Man issues, I have those in my good box. So I didn't get those out. But they were in decent shape. And I had some Oblivion songs, some Gideon Falls. Not anywhere close to a complete run of those. And here's some older books. Like an old Alpha Flight, number 5. I mean, I've never even heard of this stuff. Namor, $1 Namor. So it was really random, like how he had those. But yeah, this kind of finishes it up. You had to get these worded in bags so you could just even see what you had. I mean, some of these don't even deserve a boarding bag. I mean, just be real. But yeah, that's what we got. All right, guys. So that was the collection. Thank you guys that stuck around to the very end. If you're buying collections, try to get as much knowledge as you can before going in. Obviously, that's very difficult. Not necessarily, if something's old, it's not necessarily valuable, in comics especially. A lot of these books, not worth much, but there were several things in there, a lot of good reading material, a lot of stuff that if I hadn't bought this, I would have never read it. So at the end of the day, I feel good about it, to be honest. It's been fun. I've got a lot of enjoyment out of just sorting through it, categorizing it. I mean, that's just kind of stuff I like to do. I like to organize things. I like to sort things. So I had a lot of fun with it, and I've got plenty of reading material for a long time. So guys, thanks for watching. Let me know if you guys like this kind of video. I'm not actively seeking out any other collections, but if the right one comes along, I would consider it. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you to the new subscribers. I hope you're staying safe, and take care.